What's up, everybody? Today we're going over ASM number 35, legacy number 925, or 929, excuse me. Just got done reading this book, so we're going to do a little review on it. I'm going to talk about the things that happened in the book. And as always, if you like this kind of content and you like daily comic book content, please go and subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. So here we go. With ASM number 35 here, we're kind of finishing the arc of Peter, being being stabbed with the Goblin, the Goblin injection there, right, with the spear. I don't know the best way to describe it. It's basically a spear that carries Norman's, on and offs. So from where we leave off, we see that Peter is trying to go after Paul and Mary Jane in this subway tunnel, right? And we see that the Queen Goblin has kind of intercepted them, trying to take Peter because they want to get that Goblin serum or whatever you want to call it into Norman. That was their original plan with her and Craven, but obviously Peter intercepted it a few comics ago. So while they do that, Peter is kind of battling the Queen Goblin, gets to Paul, takes Paul, and is about to basically kill Paul. Where Mary Jane, where she's kind of, she's got that power, like she's jackpot now, where it's kind of the weirdest superpower thing I've ever seen, where she just randomizes her power. But she does that, and we see, she kind of intercepts Peter and the Queen Goblin going after Peter. Meanwhile, we see from the last comic that Norman has now teamed up with Craven by saving him after Peter put him in the grave, thus basically working with Norman, saying, hey, we got to, here's my end of the bargain. I saved your life. I spared you. Go and reverse the effects of Peter with the spear. So he does that, and Peter ends up getting, held by Craven. Spear goes in his back. Peter comes back to normal, as we knew before it. So we now see that Peter has came back to his former self and is now feeling all this guilt from what happened with Mary Jane. Mary Jane's like, don't worry, this wasn't you, Peter. They kind of know the serum, right? Paul did not die, which would have did. Everyone's waiting for Paul to die. I feel like that's kind of a high point in terms of this story. But anyway, that Peter becomes, is back now, right? And the way the comic book ends is that we see Norman kind of sitting at his desk after he talks to Peter, says, hey, don't take this out on yourself. This wasn't you. You took on the sins of myself, and that's why you acted the way you did, to take kind of some rest. However, we see Norman kind of do the Green Goblin laugh and kind of looks we have an introspective look of him, him flashing back to his former self, this wasn't all done, the sins left Peter, but they came back to Norman. So thus kind of completing the full circle is we're going to see, I guess the next arc is Norman becoming the Green Goblin once again and being, the arch nemesis of Peter Parker. So with that being said, that was basically the comic. How did I feel about it? The best arc of Zeb Wells so far. We know Zeb Wells is going to be on until number 50. This was comic number 35. And we got Gang War coming up in, a month is going to kick off in November. So let's see how Gang War goes. Hopefully it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a cool event. Hopefully there's some ramifications behind it going forward, and something actually of note happens, because I feel like nothing ever really does in the series. It's just kind of oh, hey, we got a next trade, right? I'm curious to see what issues, they kind of, because there's a lot of issues that I feel were fluff in the beginning before this arc really took a hold. But I like the book a lot, and I like this arc a lot. And I'm looking forward to see how Gang War starts. So yeah, again, if you guys like this content, please like and subscribe for more. Thank you.